जो संपत अपनी कर मानी, जो संपत अपनी कर जो संपत अपनी कर मानी, छिन मोह भई पराई। कहो नानक यह सोच रही मन, कहो नानक यह सोच रही मन। कहो नानक यह सोच रही मन, हर जस का बहु न गाई। माई हर जस का बहु न गाई। माई कहा करूं रे माई, अब मैं कहा करूं रे माई, अब मैं कहा करूं रे माई, अब मैं कहा करूं रे माई। सगल जनम बिख्यान सो खोया, सगल जनम बिख्यान सो खोया, सिमरो नाहि कन्हाई। कन्हाई कहा करूं रे माई, अब मैं
Hello everyone, welcome to today's satsang. Okay, so today's hymn is by Tina, Make Me a Channel of Your Peace. This was my favorite hymn in school. Okay, so next, Growing in Gratitude by Sara Hardevi. Then we have introduction by Michael. Then today's talk is by Dr. Chand. Topic is Sachkhand, Earth, PLM, and Sachkhand. So then after that, we'll have a short dhyan session of 5 minutes. Then we'll play Master's YouTube video and then we'll do group meditation with love and devotion. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
The prayer that I'm going to sing, it's called Make Me a Channel of Your Peace it's written by uh, Saint Francis of Assisi, and this is for our beloved Ishwarji. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, a pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, to faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. O Master, grant that I may never see so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving to all men that we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal life. O Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay. Uh, oh my God.
We can't see you.
I will not talk with video today, Michael. I'm sorry. Thank you. According to the science, people who tend to be grateful for their lives and who are happy for what they have, they create good and a good environment and enjoyable relationships with other people, and at the same time they are loved by many. However, the most amazing statistic is that to balance out one negative claim against a person, whether in thought or words, 10 heartfelt congratulations or positive expressions are required for the relationship to be flourish. Lama, why you put, my gosh, sorry. The same statistics show that if the amount of heartfelt wishes and blessings are less than 10, it will cause the relationship to deteriorate. Okay, go down. That's what I mean. And if it is a marriage, it will most likely end in divorce. Gratitude for your relationships changes you too, not just your relationships. You may tend to get angry quickly, but if you are grateful, it will give you a great deal of patience, understanding, compassion, and kindness, so much so that you will not recognize yourself at all. The little things that irritated you and all your negative claims you had in relationships will go away, because when you are truly grateful for another person's presence in your life, you do not want to change anything in him. When we are grateful for people just as they are, even if your relationships are good right now, they will improve and be wonderful. And when you have great difficulties in front of a certain person, the best things to purify the environment between you both is to find one good attribute in him, quality, and concentrate only on that quality, and be grateful for it all the time, a lot. Then experience the magic of your gratitude. Your relationships will be stronger, more fruitful, and more enriching than you even believe they could be. Imagine how our relationships will with our beloved Ishwar Puriji improves and deepens when we thank him. Thank you very much. Enjoy the satsang. Thank you.
Thank you, Hardevi. That was great about gratitude. That's so wonderful. Um, my dear brothers and sisters, welcome to Satsang. I would like to start by thanking Tina. Her song, I love songs in English. Her song was so beautiful. And really, Tina, if you're hearing this, make many more songs for Father God and Master. Thank you so much. And yesterday, Vic's song was so beautiful, and I put it on our group on Facebook, and so many people loved it. So thank you so much for all this beautiful seva that you do for Satsang and for Master, for our Holy Father. So today we all gather here in the name of our perfect living Master, Ishwar Puriji, where divine life in its fullness is overflowing in him. And we sit here to enrich ourselves with his spirituality. He has the spirituality. Only a lit candle can light other candles. And with us, we have extinguished candles, and only the light that is burning in a living candle can light other candles. That's why they say that a spiritual living teacher is a must on the path of spirituality. As as spiritual books, you can read spiritual books as long as you want. You can go to temples, outer temples, and outer churches, and become so knowledgeable in the Vedas and all the holy scriptures, the Bible, the Vedas, and the Quran, and the all the scriptures. But that will only increase our ego. That will only increase our ego. But for our light to be lit, we need a living light to light us, as only a burning candle can light other candles. This is the most of spirituality. So, what are the qualifications of the living master? What is the qualifications of a living master? He is the mouthpiece of the eternal. He has mastered the science of spirituality. Sorry, he has mastered the word, the shabd, the science of the soul. He And all spiritually blind who go to him, they get their inner eye opened so they can see and behold the light of God. And they get their inner ear opened so they can listen to the sweet melody, to the sweet divine melody of, of the holy sound, of the Shabd, the music of the spheres, this divine music of the spheres that is fully manifested in the perfect living master. It's the only path that can take us home. It's the only path that music draws us back. When we put our attention on that music, it draws us back to its source, which is God, the kingdom of God, or what maqam al-haq is called in Arabic, or the Sachkant, they call it in English. So this is what a guru is. A guru is somebody who can open the inner eye, open the inner ear, and give the light of God to whoever comes to him. And whoever has the protection of the living master, whoever have the protection and comes under the shelter of the living master, surely he will reach his destination. All what he has to do is establish himself here at the seat of the soul by concentrating over here where master resides above the lower chakras. As yesterday or the day before we talked about the chakras, which are points of energy in the body, and most yogis, rishis, they meditate on those points of the body, whether it is the lower the rectum, the genital, or the navel, or the heart chakra, or the throat chakra. And they could attain a lot of powers from these, because the deities reside, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu reside, and the goddess Shakti reside in all these lower chakras in the body. However, you could attain a lot of spiritual powers, and you could really mesmerize the people of this world by levitating or disappearing and appearing, or controlling other minds. There are unlimited powers, supernatural powers that can be attained by concentration on these lower chakras. However, that will keep us into the cycle of reincarnation, and there is a heavy price to be paid, as these powers reside. They are not from absolute God, and they reside in the lower realms of creation, in the realm of Maya, in the negative realm. And everything that is given to us in the negative realm has to have a payment. Nothing is free in this lower world, where the law of karma, what you sow, so shall you reap. And for every action there is a reaction. For every action there is a reaction. So people who perform these miracles, and then people really worship them, or look up to them, they will have to pay a very heavy price for that. That is why when we meet the perfect living master, he totally takes away all these powers from us. And many people before coming to the master had like powers to read people's minds, or many other powers, because they have performed some meditation, but that's not on the holy light and sound. So once we come to the master, there was a person, I think he came to my master, Santakar Singh, and he used to see people's auras. He could see everybody's aura very, very, very clearly. And then after he saw Santakar's aura, then he could not see any people's auras. So that power was taken away from him. For these powers are taken away from us for our spiritual benefit. So sometimes you see people who meditate on other paths who have much more power than us, or it looks like they have much more power than us. However, we have surpassed them, and that power has been reserved for us and taken away in the meantime. But once our soul reaches the absolute God, once it reaches such Khan, the kingdom of God, the abode of truth, then everything will be given back to us, and the blinders that Master have on our eyes will be taken out. That at this moment he put blinders on us, and these blinders is to safeguard us from crossing the material plane, the material spiritual plane, and reaching the Par Brahm. And there are many tantalizing, mesmerizing powers and deities and forms and shapes and objects in these material planes and subtle material planes that could take our attention away from God. And we could think that we have reached nirvana or we have reached ultimate enlightenment if we experience these things. So that's why the Master only gives us glimpses to keep us going and to tell us that there's something very, very beautiful inside of us. So we might not hear the divine melody right at once, or the five shabds that they talk about, that divine music, or see spectacular things. He only shows us bits and pieces to throw the carrot to take us back to our true home. This is how a perfect master works. So a perfect master who is the voice, who is the mouthpiece of the eternal, never says that he is the mouthpiece of the eternal. He is so humble and never proclaims who he is. If somebody proclaims who he is and says, I am a master, directly we should know that he is of a lower kind master, of not from the, even if he teaches the holy light and sound, then he is still, not a true one or of a lower kind, because perfect masters are so humble. They only say that they are the servants of their master. They will Ishwar Puri Ji, I've never ever heard him say he is a master. In fact, I think he gets mad if you call him a master, and he tries to say, no, I am not a master. The only thing I heard him say is that if you come to me, you will get my master, who is with me 24/7. That's the only thing I have. The only thing I've heard our holy master Ishwar Puri Ji say about perfection, that if you come to him, you will get the blessings of Baba Sawan Singh in full. And he has Baba Sawan Singh in him 24/7. So that's what a perfect living master. He has his master in him 24/7. And he can talk and he gets messages. So he is connected to the divine magnetic battery and gets messages from that divine magnetic battery all the time, and connects our battery that is very, very low to that divine magnetic big battery of God, of the kingdom of God, and then it charges us. So they say a perfect master never relies on the powers of the deities, like I said before. If a perfect master if a master says that, worship a deity like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, then he is not from the holy light and sound, and not from the realm of the absolute, but from the realm of the Maya. This is also another indication of whether a master is a perfect living master or not. A perfect living master is one who knows Satpurush, one who have become one with Satpurush, which is the absolute power that created all these lower powers. And all these lower powers, without the ultimate absolute truth, they cannot exist. So a perfect living master only gets his power, only gets the messages, only is connected to the absolute divine, and that's why he takes us to the ultimate goal of God and the kingdom of God. If Maulana Rumi says, if you want to go on a pilgrimage, then go with somebody who has pilgrimed himself, whether he is an Arab, whether he is a Turk, or whether he is a Hindu, it does not matter. Go on a pilgrimage with somebody who has pilgrimed, with somebody who have reached the ultimate, can take you to the ultimate. And now, and the perfect living master, another quality that we should look for to see if because only a perfect, let me see who's, only a perfect living master can know another perfect living master. But if the master is not perfect, then if sorry, I got somebody is sending a message. Let me see if it's you guys can hear me. Can you please play a video? Okay. Oh, sorry, somebody sent me a message. Okay, so a perfect living master and never ever takes donations from others for himself. if a perfect living master, if somebody proclaims to be a perfect living master and is taking donations from others and living on the donations of others, then he is not a perfect living master. Guru Nanak says, never prostrate yourself at somebody who proclaims to be a teacher and lives on the donations of others. Only a perfect living master lives on his own earnings, and to him he can only take you home. So this is another requirement of a perfect living master. Um, eh, okay, so oh my God, I forgot to unmute my phone, and okay, these people are disturbing me. Okay. Um, so um, I am gonna go. I'm gonna read to you a story from Mastanaji, from the book of Mastanaji that was written by Bibi Raj, and this story is about people, about Godmen, how they are so absorbed in God that any pain or anything from the outside does not disturb them. That they are so absorbed in the love of Master, so absorbed in the divine, that when they go inside, they just lose themselves in the divine. And in the outside world, when they are lost in the divine, they are like dead. They're not out of the body, and anything from the outside does not disturb them. This is like the ultimate feat of meditation, that we can reach points where we are so absorbed in God, where we are so absorbed in the kingdom of God, where our attention is full, because this attention has to be like threading a needle. You know how when you thread a needle, you have to put your full attention. And if you don't put your full attention, that the rope, the thread does not go in the eye of the needle. The same thing. That's why this path is hard, because we have to put our full attention on the doorway of God and the kingdom of God, and just like become thoughtless, or the thoughts are not there, or if they are there, we are above those thoughts. Once we enter into the door, then we become above the thoughts. The thoughts keep on going, because just like the heart beats, the mind also, in order for it to live, it has to keep continue thinking. But once we enter into the eye, enter ye in at the straight gate, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leads to life. However, very few shall find it. But once we enter completely into that door, then that's the act of dying. Then we will not feel our body. We will not know anything about our body or the situation of our body, and we will be totally in God and in the kingdom of God, enjoying the highest bliss and the highest ecstasy. This is what, I'm just being a parrot. This is what the saints and masters talk about, and they teach us that it is through pure, unlimited concentration that we can reach that point, where the point of the story that I'm going to read to you now, which is a beautiful story. And uh, it, say, it says, a man named Riwat Ram was a true devotee. His son was named Mutamal and was very punctual and regular in his meditation. He was also a true devotee and servitor. He used to burn some wooden logs in his room in order to warm the room in the bitter cold. Once, as usual, he warmed the room, and the logs were burning in the room as he sat in meditation. He used to sit in meditation for long hours. He was in good practice. So one night he went deep in the meditation and could not feel anything outside. The burning log fell on his leg, and he was so lost in his meditation that he did not come out of his room until the next morning. The family members knocked at the door, and when the door was not opened, they broke open the door and saw him sitting in meditation, but his leg was burnt badly. So they took him outside the room, and he woke up from meditation but did not feel any pain in his leg. When he was taken to the doctor, he was told that his leg was burnt so deeply that he will not survive until his leg is cut until his leg is cut apart from his body. They asked the doctor to let them think about it. They took him to Mastanaji, and Mastana and told they took him to Mastanaji and told him the whole story. Mastanaji said, "Let me ask Hazur in my inner meditation." After some time, Mastanaji told that Hazur did not want to cut the leg, only the neem leaves, and the neem oil could be used as a dressing, and it could be continued until it recovered completely. So they did the same treatment, and within 20 days, the leg was recovered with the grace of Hazur, and he was able to walk well. Such is the grace of a true master. When the doctor came to know about that miracle, he was surprised to see the leg. Mustanaji and the doctor went to Bias, Dera, to see Hazur and related the whole story. Hazur said, "Those who are true lovers of meditation and want to see their master inside have nothing to do with this body. Once you enjoy the inner world, nothing can happen to this body." Hazur blessed Mastanaji for being a good master. In Baluchistan, the doctor received initiation from Hazur and went back to Baluchistan with Mastanaji. So even the doctor got initiated as he saw that miracle, that miracle. See how it is. It is so beautiful that this path is just the path of miracles, continuous miracles, and we will see those miracles unfold in our life on daily basis. That the miracles of master, you see them, and I started to see them before I even met my master Santakar Singh. The miracles started happening when I was seeking, and then after initiation, oh my God, the miracles started just overflowing my way. I remember when the first day when I wanted when I bought the picture of master Santakar Singh, and because I was being trained to do satsang and stuff like that, and I needed the picture, and then I didn't know where to put it because I had to transport it. I went to the chute to throw my garbage, and there was a carton, a box that is made just for pictures, sitting there for me, and it was a perfect size, and I used that for the next 8 years when I was doing that seva. So it was so miracles start to come. Miracles start to come, and once the perfect master is served, then the audible divine music starts to come, and the Lord makes his appearance. That only through the God man the Lord can be known. And it is said that if you want to meet the king, then go to somebody who has good favor with the king. Then you can meet the king. And this way, nobody can meet God, nobody can meet the Lord. You could read the Holy Scriptures forever, you could belong to any religion until you meet a perfect living master who becomes your friend and who makes the Lord appear in your life. That the Lord only appears in our life when we meet the perfect living master. That it is a must. It is a must on the path of spirituality. So this is my introduction for today, and thank you, Master, for the words, and thank you, Master, for the seva that makes us develop spiritually day by day, and puts us on the path of happiness, on the path of eternal bliss and eternal intoxication into Father God. So now it's my brother, Dr. Chand. Let me unmute him.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. You set the stage so nicely. And today I have to talk on, to make the whole concept little simpler to understand. Now, we have got a ability to forget 95% of our life here. So whatever we learn in satsangs, most of the time, we tend to forget 95%. We hardly retain 5%. That's why this daily satsang gives you and reviews all those points, to be on the path. It's a wonderful area. Now, what I'm trying to say that we have got pictures, Puneet has got those pictures. One is that the whole cosmos is one living entity, as I was showing it yesterday. Now, this is the core of the cosmos from where it all started. And you have come to the edge of the universe on this planet Earth where you live. It's such a long journey, and understanding in totality makes it much easier for us to comprehend that what that energy is, which is so fathom and which can do anything and everything. So this is how I would like to explain that from the core of this expanding universe, and you have come as a journey where you live now. Now, this journey through is billions of light years away. Now, understanding this as one unit gives you an understanding that that absolute intelligence capable force that had rather given you that opportunity to create all this, and you are part of him, as the Shabad is connected, from the core to here. Whatever you are connected through that core, And I would like to request that how the Shabad is a creator and how it does that. So the other day also in satsang there was a video that how the how the Shabad is rather forming thing. There are certain patterns, He put some sand onto the plate and then put some kind of a music. So I'll request.
Okay, I have it. Should I play it?
Yeah, please, so that one can understand the abilities of that sound, of that Shabad with which you are connected, how it can really does, how it works, and how it can form things, It has. Because if you look at that, the Shabad, you can see that plate, Now look at this video. Now, if you look at that, now this plate has got certain sand lying on it, and the fellow is trying to do that. And now you
Okay,
can
this is
see
called
what
a
nice
flattened figure.
patterns it can make. So now you see it clearly. And there are two videos on it. One you have already put on the site, on WhatsApp, and this is what I have put in. Now you see this sound is creating these patterns. Now you are actually that connected with that sound, which can create patterns, which can create something wonderful, so nice. So you must understand that the Shabad has got all these abilities. Now look what a beautiful pattern it has made. So I was to say that once you have acquired the mind, the laws of nature and information system, so what you really did, that you became individuated, as Ishwar Puriji explains, after acquiring the mind. And that is where the I comes in, the ego comes in. And you started using all these abilities of the Shabad to create your own things, and you created a huge big web all around you of time as well as material, means the mind and the body. This is how this particular sound can move the planets. If it can move these small grains, of sand, it can move the whole, the whole thing. It can move the skies. Everything, whatever is moving there, is being moved by this energy of the Shabad. Now you can imagine that you have got such a tremendous amount of energy with you, which can do anything. Now, understanding this particular part, now there is a picture also. I think Puneet was to show that the whole cosmos is a globe kind of a thing. Yesterday also we saw that. Now here from the core, you have come to the edge. Now this journey, when you were at the core, which is known as, we call it as Alak, Agam, Anam. And then lower down below there is the Sachkhand area. Now you've been loving him and he's been loving you. And because Almighty became from one to many for want of love, because it wanted to love you. So you were loving him and he was loving us. So there is a line from the saints last time also I said, Prem Sindh se moj ut, Jagat kiya ujjas, Satguru Roop Avatar Dhar, Ghat Ghat Prem Prakas. Means that out of the stride of bliss, he felt like loving, and to love, he became from one to many. Then he took the body of a master and came here to enlighten each one of us that you are part of that absolute. You have got that Shabad that can create anything. Now, if you know that your mind has made a web out of this, and this web has, you are really stuck up in this web here, and you got to come out. So the master is telling you, look, you have got this tremendous amount of energy with you, that Shabad, which can create things, which can move planets. Because in the other way, I explained that how your earth, which was revolving 6 hourly, a molten body, another molten body comes and hits your earth. And this earth slows down to 23 hours, 56 minutes and few seconds. And then it tilts. If it would not have tilted, the weathers would not have come. Now, who did this? Shabad did this. And that Shabad is with you, with the master. And, as you have ascended, because when you were coming down here, you had all those powers of the masters with you. So you were using those powers through the mind which you have acquired, and whatever you wanted me, you started creating. So you created your own mind and you created your own body. That Shabad did it, And I could understand that each component of my body is a particular frequency. And that frequency which started from there keeps on segregating further into different frequencies. And finally, it comes to this body. So you did your own body. So now you can imagine you are part of the absolute. And you are here. And you did from a single cell to the crown of creation, the human body. You have created it. Now, Guru comes and tells you, and he enlightens you that you are that, who has done it himself. So now, this is how the key which has been told to you. And today's talk, when I was trying to show you that huge big globe, that you did it. My dear, you are a capable force. As I say, that your soul is a creative intelligence which is connected to its source in real time, with its outer expression as your attention. And wherever the attention goes, the divine energy flows. So now this divinity within you is forming things, and you are using all that, and you used it with a free will to come on this adventure to see your own things, what you can, what you are capable of. But then what really happened, this mind and body, how it trapped you, as I explained, that once we came up from the apes to a human body, we thought might is right. We thought we are a body only. We forgot that we are a mind, and then we are a soul. We have got an acquired mind, and we created the body from a single cell to reach the crown of creation, the human body. But once we reached it, we thought might is right. So we started using that might and started creating our karmas and started getting, into this mud, we were stuck up. And this is how things happened. Then we started amassing a lot of information. And that brought us a lot of ego. And this is how we got trapped into time and material. Means our ego and the material needs trapped us here. And we started suffering, because we never knew how to come out of that. And of course, the master being with you all the time, because you are connected. And he's watching all this, allowing you to do this because it is your adventure. Instead of learning from this adventure, we did not learn. Now we became so sad and we became, so pathetic here. Now, out of that grace he has got, the compassion masters have got for you, then he took the life, he acquired the mind, created the body to be with you in your times, just to guide you that you are that fathom energy. Come on, rise and stop not till the time you achieve it. So now Michael was saying, you got to put your attention. Now, attention is, as I say, it is like an omni scanner. It can see in all the directions. It can act in all the directions. It's a capable force. But now Michael was telling that if you are putting that thread into the needle, now that slice of your attention has to be narrowed down to that location of that slot so that you can put it there. So within yourself, there is a small little point behind the eyes where your third eye is there. And that small little hole, from where the light is coming in, you got to put all your attention into that. And something wonderful happens, This is why the masters are here. And they always help us in getting back to our own powers, He enlightens us, he tells us. And finally, as I could listen, Ishwar Puriji been saying that as you grow further in your meditation, then you gradually start knowing the master is with you. But then finally you see that you are the master yourself. And then you go ahead. Then you see even the God is you. And he's there within you. You did it all. And past and future is nothing. It is now, here and now. So this is a beautiful explanation. It is how you can see that video and understand the abilities that you have already got, that you can formulate things. As the other day, Sarah was talking about happiness, So now once we know we are on an adventure, then we can remain happy here without getting sad. Because if we get sad, the mind and body conditions will make us sad. So we have got that ability, inherent ability is what? Let us face as it comes. It is already with us. We can go through all the kinds of situations in our life as you started from a single cell. 8.4 million species. Sometimes you never had a shelter. It was raining. Sometimes it was snowing. You had the ability to go through all that. And passing through all those 8.4 million species, because you have got that ability to face things as they come in life. So please don't get worried. Whatever will happen, you have got that inherent ability to face things as they come in life. So why get sad about it? It's an experience. Let's get into that. So if we are playing a ball, if some ball hits me on my leg, so I get a bit of pain, but then it's my game. It's a play, So now we got to play and remain happy, because without being happy, without being healthy, we cannot meditate. So it is our rather responsibility to give our attention to the self to make it little healthier, to make it little happier. If we are happier, then we are healthier. Now, this is what is the key. What come, what may come in your life, you can face it. It's so simple to understand, my dear. So now I could see many a times that those different kind of animals, going through 8.4 million species, how they suffer. They don't have the shelter. They don't have food sometimes. Now everything, all those things are happening and they are going through that. You already have got that ability, my dear. Don't get bogged down with all this. This world, which has got ups and downs, positives and negatives, it will continue like this as the day will come and the night will come. It will keep on repeating one after the other. So now your life is there. You know that you can pass through all this turmoil and still remain happy. And tera bhana meetha lage, the third word which tells you about Rajagun, Tamogun, and Satogun. So the saints say that you rise above these three. What are these three? One is lethargy, second is your anger, and third is your local truth. Now I'm repeating this word, the local truth. It is not ultimate truth, my dear. So the local truth should not bother you because you have to rise above than these three. These three gunas, if you rise above. And what I want to tell you now, again, I want to sum up everything here by telling you that you are part of that Chatur Sujan. Chatur means very clever. Almighty is very, very clever. And he's enlightened. Sujan, he knows everything. All knowing, all pervading. So you are actually that. So now Chatur and Sujan, so you got to remain alert on this journey. And being alert will definitely give you that idea how to manage these ups and downs. Because you are alert. And being alert is one of the best areas. And then you are clever enough. Being alert and clever is the key. And you are that. That is how the master tells you and helps you to rise above. And it is only one thing, my dear, the love and devotion. Because you have come here, all these problems of your life you have understood. Now it is your inner desire which will take you towards that. As Ishwar Puriji says, if you are happy here, come on, keep on enjoying it. No problems. No need for you to get into satsang. No need to learn meditation. But if you have learned this, that this is what is happening here in this time-bound material creation, ups and downs, life and death, you have tasted it many, many times, 8.4 million species. Is it not enough for you now? If it is not, then please keep on enjoying it and don't get into meditation. Now, if you know that, as Nanak also says, Nanak dukhiya sab sansar, sukhi wahi jo naam adhar. Means the whole world is so sad, no? And the people are, only those happy people are which are connected to the central part. Jo naam adhar. People who have got that name, and all of a sudden, whenever any problems comes, please get connected to the Shabad. Next moment it is out. You're out of that problem. You start feeling that. Now, as and when the problems come, you immediately get connected to the Shabad. And I think most of the satsangis must be listening to the Shabad all the time. And it happens. Then you develop this habit that you are all the time intoxicated with that Shabad. And that Shabad is taking care of all your worries. Thank you very much, Michael. I did my part today. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Chand, that was a great talk, and I love that video, and it shows just about the miracle of the sound, how it
Yeah.
something. And I also saw another video on YouTube about Dr. Emoto with the water, how when a person that is angry touched the water, how it made ugly formations, and then when you touch it with divine thought, then it makes like gorgeous, divine formations.
Yeah, it does. It does. Beautiful crystals are formed, you know.
Yes.
Once you have
yes.
got good intentions, then it does
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Some Japanese scientists have done a lot of work on it.
Yeah. It's on YouTube if anybody wants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
watch it.
Very
Okay,
right.
so now we can do 5 minutes of meditation to
Right.
prepare ourselves to watch our Holy Father Master before. So 5 minutes of meditation.
Friends, welcome to this second day of our get together here. I'm very happy that we could get together, meet some people individually and collectively, small group of people. It was a nice visit to Pune, and I hope to make another visit sometime to Pune to carry on any leftover business. I want to talk to you today about a very important subject. The subject is, what is initiation by a perfect living master? What happens when a Sant Satguru initiates a person or gives naam to that person? What exactly is the process? What actually happens? There are many kinds of masters. There are many kinds of gurus. There are gurus who teach you how to go within to your energy centers. Those energy centers are 6 centers lying below the eyes. They are known as the 6 chakras or 6 energy centers. If you concentrate your attention on any one of those centers, you get different kind of wonderful experiences, including out-of-body experiences. But they do not give you any higher awareness. They will give you more energy. They'll give you energetic experiences. They do not increase your level of knowledge of who you are. They will give you more knowledge of what is around you, what is circulating around you, and what kind of energies are controlling your body, controlling your consciousness in this physical world. These 6 centers are called the centers of Pinda. Pinda, as you know, means the body, physical body. So these 6 centers control all our life in the physical world. From birth to death, these centers are controlling our life. And that is why they are very important for understanding anything about the energy circuits in the body in relation to the experiences outside. These centers are very valuable and important. So many of the yogis practicing concentration of attention within themselves have put their concentration on these 6 centers. Some of them have covered all the centers. Some of the yogis say you should cover all the centers, starting from the bottom, going up and reaching the 6th center behind the eyes. The eyes, they have compared these centers to leaves, lotus leaves of a plant. They call this 2 eyes, 2-petaled lotus. When we start any kind of meditation, I was mentioning to you the value of yogic exercises in which we can put our attention, concentrate our attention on the 6 centers of energy in the body called the centers of Pinda, of this physical body. They will give you information and give you knowledge, even a knowledge of what lies beyond this physical body, because the energy circuits go beyond this physical body. Therefore, you can have some very interesting non-physical experiences. And very often we think just by having a non-physical experience, we have reached a spiritual enlightenment. It is a sort of enlightenment because it is more than what we normally see with our physical eyes and physical ears, and we are now seeing something different. So therefore it looks very interesting and looks like enlightenment of some kind. But these centers deal with the energy. Energy is different from awareness. Awareness is to know more, energy is to experience energy. There's a slight difference between the two. To get awareness, a higher awareness than we have as physical beings, we have to go beyond the Pinda, beyond the body. And that is to go directly to the astral body, to the Suksham Sharir, or the Sharir, the body in which these sense perceptions are themselves located. Instead of seeing them through the filter of the physical body, we can see them directly from our own sense perceptions, which are the astral body. So that is a much more valuable tool for gaining true knowledge of our own self beyond the physical. So that is sometimes referred to as Anda. Anda means egg. That means the origin. The origin of all physical experiences lies in the astral plane. Nothing exists in this physical plane, including our physical body, that does not have an origin in the astral plane. So astral plane is the originator of all our experiences. When you go to the astral plane of awareness and stay there, understand it, you find that it was a coarse, gross representation of what is lying in the astral plane. The finer things are there. For example, you have artificial light here to light this room. In the astral plane, you can go to the same room, it's lighted by itself. Human beings who are in astral form emit their own light. Just like some fish in the physical world at the bottom of the sea have their own light. Similarly, in the astral plane, everything has some illumination in it. It's a radiant form of life compared to the physical. Because that energy of the astral body is very different from the energy of the physical body. So there are separate 6 chakras to represent the astral system in our consciousness. And they can be accessed. They can be accessed by not going to the lower centers, but withdrawing attention behind the eyes. These are, when you sit vertically, these are located vertically below. Those are horizontal behind the eyes. So they are the similar ones. Like we have the 4-petal lotus at the bottom, the rectum. We have the 6-petal lotus, 8, 12, 16, and then 2. Same pattern is followed in the astral cycle behind. When we withdraw our attention, however hard we may try, we try system of imagination, which you tried yesterday with me, and that also does not fully take us back. We are still thinking of these eyes. When we try to turn our head inside, the tendency is to turn this head also, because we do not disassociate ourselves from this body. So to start with the 2-petal lotus is common to both cycles. These 6 centers end with 2-petal lotus. Those 6 centers start with 2-petal lotus and go on to what is 16-petal lotus here. That becomes a 1,000-petal lotus at the same stage. The 1,000-petal lotus, which has been called Sahasrara Kamal, and the 1,000-petal lotus, has a reflection which reflects throughout the whole astral and physical body. So many people who want to associate that with the physical chakras, they call it the 7th center at the top of the head, because of the reflection of the 1,000-petal lotus throughout the system of the physical and astral bodies. So that is why that experience is a remarkable experience. Before that experience takes place, you go through a sky. Every level of experience creates a space, and that space creates a universe. If there is no space, there is no universe. Even the physical space is creating a physical universe. The astral space creates an astral universe. I drew some circles yesterday, and that represented how there is expansion of space at every level. And the expanded space where we are located, whether we are flying or on the surface, has a sky. The sky is uniquely different at every level. So you can't mistake that maybe you're having a dream, it looked like that. In the meditational practice, there is so much certainty about each level that you have no doubt where you are. If you are only having dreams and so on, you can have a doubt, was it a dream? Was it really any higher level of consciousness or not? But when you are actually at that higher level, beyond the overlap, there is no doubt left at all where you are. The sky is dimly lighted in the astral plane, always. There is no night as we know it here. The darkness and the light are co-mingled there in such a way that a grey sky exists all the time. Something very similar to the Pune sky now, you see. And that is day and night, 24 hours. So everything is always lit up. And every object, every being, every person is lit up. So they emit their own light. They don't need any external light. Nothing can be seen in the physical world except by reflected light. Light has to fall upon an object. Light has to fall upon a person. Depending on the colors of the person or the object, it absorbs some colors, reflects the others, and we see that color. As I was mentioning to you, the experience of the genuine astral plane is remarkable. Before that happens, you pass through the sky, the same astral sky, and see the original sun and moon, stars. You discover that the planetary system here which consists of billions of stars and billions of galaxies over here, originates from a primordial star, primordial system, galactic system, a primordial which exists in the astral plane. You can pass through it in your astral body. You can sit on the surface of those things. You can go through these. If you see a star in that level, you can race toward the star by practice and go right through it and open up another sky. It's amazing how so many skies can open up, even in the astral plane, that you go all through these and you need not go. It's not necessary that everybody has to go, but you can. You can go through those experiences and go through the various stages, the 4-petal lotus there, until the 1,000-petal lotus comes, which is so bright. And just before that, you will, if you are initiated by a perfect living master, you will see the form of the master, of your guru, as you have seen him in the physical world. So, good recognition. After that, your form will change and guru's form will change. But you will know who are you and who are the guru, irrespective of change of forms. But at that stage, you recognize. And then you discover that this guru who initiated you has actually been with you all the time. But he was inside. And now you have discovered him inside. It does not mean that he has appeared at that time. He just appeared to you at that time. He's always been there from the time of initiation. That means when he decided to manifest himself inside you. This stage creates many kind of gurus. And those gurus have taken us to that form. Big, great spiritual leaders have come in the past, in whose name religions exist today. And you can see all those gods and goddesses whose names we are taking are all there in this plane. This plane looks like Sachkhand, like our true home, compared to the physical. So most of those people think we have reached the end. It's the beginning of all creation. What else can there be? It is only a guru who goes beyond these things, who goes to the next level, where there are no forms. There are just patterns. And those patterns exist in a still higher form, where a new sky opens up. And that can only be done if you have a guru who has himself gone to that stage. If he hasn't, he will only take you to the astral stage and say, this is it. But that's a lot. Very few exist like that. Most of them give you easy, simple yogic exercises to strengthen your energy systems in the 6 centers. Here is somebody taking you to a new heaven altogether. All the heavens spoken of in all the scriptures of every religion exist there. All the hells exist there. They actually exist. You can go and see them. I know some people who made the mistake of going into hell there. And one can, even without the help of a guru, if he has a previous background of spiritual knowledge in a previous life, can go there on one's own without a guru. Beyond that, it's not possible. Because this is the beginning of heaven, and therefore it's the end of heavens. Therefore, how can you have anything more than that? But a guru who takes you to the ultimate state of a universal mind, where you find that we were thinking, we are all separate thinking beings, and we are all drawing our thoughts from one place, which is the causal plane, Karan Sharir. That Karan Sharir of ours, which has another set of 6 centers like that. Those centers, 3 of them lie within reach of the sky, 3 lie even beyond. There are 2 parts of that. These 6 centers, the final 18th center occurs inside, beyond these. Those who can reach the 18th center have crossed the mind. Those who have reached the 15th center have reached the ultimate state of the mind, where there is only one mind, universal mind. They are great experiences which you cannot imagine here, that we are all discussing with each other, talking to each other. Our minds are individuated here completely. There we find the source for all thoughts was one. That is why most of the advanced gurus have said that is the end, because you reach your universality, it's only one. But they don't say one soul, one mind. They say one mind soul, clubbed together. And therefore, That's the end. So there are gurus who will take you there and they will initiate you and say, this is the final stage. You got moksha. You have reached the ultimate Om, which was this resonance of that place. Each place has a separate resonance, and therefore they say, this is it. And you will believe it, because there's nothing to compare with. You're comparing it with the physical and astral planes. That sky of the causal plane is an orange-red color. If you have seen a sunset, when the sun sets, becomes big, the sun on the setting sun, it becomes easy to see it. It's too hot and too bright in the top, but when it's setting, it becomes golden colored and it's just setting, it becomes a little bigger. Supposing you stretch that sun over the whole sky, that's what the Brahman sky of the causal plane of Karan Sharir is visible. You can identify it. It's a different kind of sky. That whole universe of patterns where they are coming from is colored like that. So there is a distinction. There is a different kind of sound, different kind of color, and all causes of all things, astral and physical, exist there. That is where they say that Akash, that sky, contains all records. They talk of Akashic records, that there is a storage in the Akash, in the sky. What does it contain, the sky? All possible destinies that we can have in the astral and physical plane. We say we are born with our problems, we are born with this, tomorrow we'll do this, whether we have free will or not. Everything is predetermined, packed, ready like a DVD out there. When we, as Atma, as soul, descend into creation, and that's the beginning of creation, descend into that, we pick up ourselves, one of the DVDs, and play it along in the astral and physical planes for millions of years after that. We get trapped by the attractions of this created world to such an extent, we never go back there from where we picked up our DVDs, our fate capsules, the capsules which contained the entire program. How many lives does it contain? One life. It can't contain everything, and we don't come and live everything. We live one life. Even when we come from the causal Karan Sharir, from the Karan state, from the causal state to the physical, and are born as a human being, this is a very, very rare thing to happen. Because in a human being alone, we have this feeling that we can make a decision and we have experience of free will. In no other form, neither in the astral plane nor in the causal plane. You have too much knowledge there. Here ignorance creates free will. We don't know what is going to happen in the next minute, so we think we can decide. We don't know which course to take, and our mind says you can take this or that, therefore we are free. So this sense of freedom, the sense of having a free will, only occurs in the human being in the physical world, nowhere else. Some people have said the human being is next to the God himself. They say man has been made in the image of the Creator. It doesn't mean that his Creator has face and eyes and all that. He's just a power. He's power of consciousness. What is similar to it is that the Creator has total free will to create any show, and we feel we have free will, therefore we are similar. So that is why that universal mind state is considered to be the origin of everything, all our destinies, all forms of life, which are 8.4 million registered, out of which more than half, 5.4, is in plant kingdom alone. And so you can see human beings come in the last category listed of 400,000 species. One is human being. It includes angels and gods and everybody in that one list. So all the forms of creation are originating in the causal plane. How can one imagine there is anything more than that? Nobody can, even going there, even disciples of perfect living masters think this is the end of it. It's the universality of all thoughts, of everything. And yet that is not our true home. Only those who have gone beyond that, those are called perfect living masters. Those who have gone beyond the universal mind and into regions of pure soul, where there's nothing, that spiritual region. The spirit is the name of the soul, not of the mind. The mind's stages stop at the causal region. Above that, there are two types of gurus who go beyond. Some are called Sad Gurus and some are called Sat Gurus. The difference between a Sad Guru and a Sat Guru is a Sad Guru has crossed the mind, reached the state, discovered what a soul is, what Atma is, but he is not merged in it. To merge in that, you go beyond to the true home where there is nothing but one. And you merge in one, become one with everything. That is Satguru. And therefore, the terminology used is that you go from the physical plane, Pinda, to Anda, to Brahmanda, and Brahmand then goes on beyond the mind to Parbrahm. Parbrahm is the stage where Sadgurus take us. Then beyond Parbrahm is the origin of that which we can't imagine where it came from. The negativity, for example. Time, for example, the traps here. Where did they come from? When we are going continuously higher and higher and understanding more of the true nature of creation, how come, where does negativity come from in the lower regions? Where do hells come from? There has to be some origin beyond the mind which creates these. Above Parbrahm and between our true home, Sachkhand and Parbrahm, lies the area from where negativity originates. And that is a darkness of a kind which you can't find anywhere. After all the lights, after all brightness, we still pass through a darkness, which is the origin of darkness and negativity here. And it is like a dark cave. Even the soul at that time, crossing that, has the light of 16 of these physical suns. That's the light. It's too dark for this light to cross through. And the biggest difficulty is that darkness is not steady. This is just a little metaphorical thing I'm telling. The darkness is not steady, it is revolving. In Indian literature, we call it Bhamar Kufa. Like it's a huge cave, and it's in the Bhamar, it's going on, whirling, the whirling cave. That it's whirling. Therefore, you enter hoping, okay, I'll shoot through. These are physical examples given of a thing that is not physically describable. That we shoot through and come out same place where we entered. Because it was whirling and we don't know where it enters and where it ends. It is only the light of a Sant Satguru, perfect living master, who has at that time the awareness and knowledge, consciousness of the true home carrying with him, that we can cross through that. That cannot be crossed by a Sadguru, cannot be crossed by any of the other gurus that I've been talking about. Those are very, very rare. You can count at any time, even there, most of them. In Kali Yuga, we have more than in other ages. And even then, you can count them on the fingers of your two hands at any time. There never have been so many. But they are there for those who seek to go to the true home. It depends on the seeker. These saints, perfect saints like these, do not come for themselves. They come in response to the call of the seeker, who says, I want to go home. Who are these seekers who say, I want to go home? In a story form, it is told that there are so many souls in our true home, collectively one soul, and at the same time many, where the one and the many become the same thing. These many souls were all in a whirlwind of joy, living in their own true consciousness of love and intuition, knowledge, everything was there with them. And then some of them wanted to have an adventure and said, let's go out for an adventure into new creations. Consciousness can create anything. So we created levels of experiences, one after the other, right up to the physical level. And so many souls who wanted to go to negative experiences so that we can come back and compare with the positive, they came for a little adventure. Can you imagine we sitting here all came for adventure? How we got trapped here? We came to attend a carnival, to see a show and go back home. And we got caught up and think this is our place. That we are now trying to acquire things which are meant only for use and for experience, and then we move on. We move on anyway. In the physical body, nobody stays forever. Astral body, nobody stays forever. Causal body, nobody stays forever. The only immortal thing which never changes is the soul, the Atma. That never, it's immortal. The only immortal thing is the Atma. None of these other things are there. They all disappear. And all this show, big show of creation, of Pind, And, Brahman, all this dissolves from time to time. In Pralaya, dissolution, the astral and the physical planes are finished. In Mahapralaya, grand dissolution, everything disappears except the top part of Parbrahm and our Sachkhand true home. Everything else disappears and comes again. This show has been repeated millions of times. It's a continuous thing. Creation, creator is a continuous thing now. So, therefore, the perfect living masters who take us to our true home are indeed very few. Now, what is initiation by a perfect living master? The subject with which I started. Initiation.
My dear holy family of God, it's time to go to our true home within. So if we can forget about the world outside and the body below and come up here to the doorway of God, doorway of Master, and the doorway of love. Repeat the Simran of the holy name with the tongue of thought, slowly at intervals. And I wish you the best meditation, or listen to the holy sound. And I wish you the best meditation. I wish all of us to go to our true home soon. And please join us tomorrow for another holy day in Holy Father God, in Holy Master. I'll keep Zoom on for 20 minutes.